What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of MMA Heart. I got the double champ here today, Joshua Lam, the one and only Josh Lam joins the show today. How are you doing, sir?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me on the show.
Josh, on May 9th, you took Nelson Spreeuw's lightweight belt and you became a two-division champ. Just wondering, what were the celebrations like on May 9th? What did you do Thursday night?
Took the sky train, went back home, went to bed. That's it.
Nothing special.
Nothing special.
All right, and Josh, watching this fight cage side, you were taking Nelson down, you were controlling him, clinching him up against the fence. You seemed to be in full control. You connected on the feet as well. Were you at all surprised that the fight was a split decision win for you?
A little bit, yeah. That one judge scoring it 48-47 for him kind of threw me off. I thought I was up at least 4 rounds to 1. I was pretty confident with that.
And what was your reaction when you before the fight? I believe it was like 10 days before the fight. I posted a video of Raphael Ouellet saying that Nelson Spreeuw would make easy work over you. That this would be an easy fight for Nelson. What were your initial thoughts and your reaction when you saw them being so confident ahead of the fight?
I just focus on what I can do, man. Like I can't control or get too stressed out about what other people or the opposition is doing. I just focus on what I can do and what my mindset is going into the fight. So yeah, just focus on what I can do.
Were you at all bothered by all this trash talk and inside the cage Nelson was also pointing fingers at you, telling you to bang and stuff like that? Were you at all does all of that noise at all bother you?
Not really, because I anticipated that. I knew he was gonna, before the fight even started, he was gonna try to make it psychological warfare. I saw that when he did that to my good friend Jason. So after seeing that, like I kind of knew, like, oh, when you sign up to agree to fight this guy, he'll try to psychologically beat you down before you even get into the cage. Which is like smart, but I saw it coming. I mentally prepared for that, and I just stayed focused to the task at hand.
And champ, what do you think should be next for your career? You mentioned that this might be your last fight in lightweight. Would you like to move down to featherweight? What do you think should be next for you? And
135.
135.
Yeah, because I'm not a real 55er. I can tell you right now, I walk around at anywhere between 158 to 163 on any given day, and the average bantamweight walks around at that size, even at the local professional level here. And I think if I really want to go professional and make a run at it, 135 is the way to go. And before I do that, I haven't made 135 since I was 20 years old. I'm 27, turning 28. I'm bigger than I was back then. I want to do personally one amateur fight at 135. Try to ideally a 5-rounder. If it's for an amateur 135 title, that'd be cool. But I want to do one more amateur fight at 135. Use it as a test for a weight cut. If it goes successful, then go pro at 35.
Right. So your next fight, we can still expect to see you. All the fans can expect to still see you amateur, and then pro is next, right?
Yeah. I want to use it as the next one as a kind of indicator for the weight cut to cut down to 35. I kind of been trying to look around. I talked to a few people, scoped around for a nutritionist to make sure I could cut down 35. Properly and in a safe manner. So that's where I'm at. I'm taking my time with it.
And right now, right now you're a two-division champ, and you find yourself in a spot where all of these dudes are mentioning your name. People like Roman Tasson, he seems to be very upset at you that you're leaving the division, and he wants a crack at you. And all of these dudes are now mentioning your name. You're now on everyone's mind, and all of these guys are now hunting you. How does it feel to be on top? And are you willing to just give up both of those belts?
Sure. really care because right now in my mind it's like amateur doesn't really mean anything to me anymore. It's about preparing for the next stage, professional stage, and try to get down to 35. And if I can't do it, you know, we'll see from there. But I want to try and crack at 35 because that's at the professional level. That's what I'm really at. I'm a bantamweight.
And Josh, just wondering, where did you develop this kind of wrestling? Because you always show elite level wrestling, and you always take these guys down. Just wondering, where did you get that experience? Where did you get those wrestling in? Where did you get that wrestling from? And would you ever, consider coming to traveling the world and going to Russia and all these different parts of the world where you can train with other elite level wrestlers like yourself?
I started wrestling in high school. To be honest, that's where I learned it from, and then I was like a bronze medalist in the BC Games. Uh, I wanted to wrestle in college. Like some of the guys that I went to school with, they're former national champs, former provincial champs. Last ever wrestling match I ever had, I actually blew out my shoulder, and the guy made it to the finals. He ended up wrestling for the University of Saskatchewan. And, that one was kind of a kick in the nuts because I felt like, oh, that could have been me, but I made it to the finals in our zone. And the guy ends up making it to the finals of provincials, and I'm just out of the sideline with a separated shoulder. And I was out for like a year because I needed surgery. And yeah, that was a tough time. And to answer your second part of that question, I'd love to check out, Kyrgyzstan, Central Asia. Fun fact: one of my first coaches in wrestling was Russian. So,
Oh wow, okay.
So, very, the Russians in freestyle wrestling, they're very technical. So I think that's where I kind of got that from.
And Josh, I also want to ask you about, what are some of the highest highs and some of the lowest lows that you experienced in your career? Because about 5 years ago, I heard that you wanted to quit the sport, but now you find yourself, with two belts, yeah, around your waist. So,
Uh, highest highs got to be like, you know, definitely, winning the belts and just against good opposition, and yeah, just enjoying the ride with, my friends, family, teammates, coaches. But the lowest lows is definitely kind of like, you try your best and you're not getting the results, you're not seeing it. It's like, it's like, fuck, man. Like, doing this for a while, is it worth it? You start questioning yourself. And then at that time, the pandemic hit. And honestly, it's kind of a blessing in disguise for me. It just gave me some time just to like reevaluate things. Just, you know, at that time, I was just going to work, making some money, working a few jobs, just see how things go, let time pass. And then I started kind of going back to the gym, not even a striking gym or anything, just like started lifting weights. Ran into a few people, they wanted to hold for me, start getting cracked in the mitts again, and they started saying like, "Damn, you still got some pop in your shot. You still throw." Have you ever thought about getting back to the sport? And it's like, we'll see. Then little by little, they kind of encouraged me like, "Hey, you should check out this gym," and then here we are. So that's
and Josh, just wondering, why do you do this? Why do you fight? Why do you fight in the cage? Why are you doing this? And what would you do if you didn't do MMA? What would what would your other career be if not this?
I'd probably just be working construction. So just be an average guy, work construction. After the job site, I'll just go home, watch Canucks game, and rinse and repeat day in, day out. The reason why I do this is because, I've been doing this all my life. Since I was a kid, started training at I was 4 or 5 years old. And I simply just love the sport. Just a regular guy who loves the sport. And just honestly do it for myself, just to see how far I could go and what I could do.
And Josh, just wondering, what does your family think about you doing MMA now today when you're much more successful, when you are a two division champ? You mentioned that everyone just wants to make their father proud. So just wondering, what do your parents and what does your family think now, and are they much more supportive now?
Uh, my mom still doesn't want me to fight. Never wants me, and I think never will. With regards to my dad, I think he's definitely supportive, but he'll tell it to me straight. I think after like one of my second fight against Mitch, I was like 20 years old at the time. To be honest, it was just a piss poor performance on my end, and he's just being straight up like, you fight like that, you should probably quit the sport, man. It's
Hmm.
probably not for you. But after seeing me, kind of change my career around, he's been more supportive in the sense that hey, I think you'll do well. Like, just go in there, be confident, be you. But I also learned too. I need my space too. Like sometimes I think like a little bit of space from the people you love just makes me think more clear.
Absolutely. And just wondering also, what is your ultimate career goal? What do you want to accomplish in this sport? Is UFC on your mind as well?
Yeah, that's of course. I think that anyone involved in this wants to climb up the ranks and make it to the next level. Make it to the next level is always cool.
And just also wondering about your life in Vancouver, living life in Vancouver as a professional athlete. What is it like for you, and how much do you enjoy living in that city?
Expensive, but for the most part, Vancouver is my home and happy to call it home.
And also, I saw that you train at Titan MMA with guys like Ash Mashrehi, Dejan Kaic. How important is it for you to have such experienced guys next to you, and those guys who are much bigger than you as well?
Oh, they're seasoned vets, man. Like they're they're legends around here, and to have them on my side and see them train day in day out, it's honestly inspiring. And just to follow their lead is always good.
And I have a couple last questions for you, Josh, before I let you go. Just wondering about Josh Lam as a person, not a fighter, but as a person. What makes you happy? What makes you genuinely happy as a person?
Like that's a loaded question. I just love to train. Love to train. Just like to train day in day out. See my friends. Uh, Simple as that. I yeah, like just put in a nice honest day's work.
And Josh, also wondering about how are you with social media? Would you ever consider, starting your own podcast and doing some marketability stuff as well to boost your career too?
I probably should. I'm not the best with social media, but yeah, that's definitely an interest. Funny you mentioned that. Like I was talking to Ryan Ventura. We're
Mm. Yeah.
somewhat close friends, and like I've always said, like, fuck, if there's ever an opportunity to like sit cage side and be like a color commentator next to
Mm.
like David Braun and like Mike goes, yes, I'd love to do that. Like that'd be so much fun because at the end of the day, like I'm not just a fighter, I'm a fan of the sport too, and yeah, I would love to call fights. That'd be great.
And also wondering, and very curious, who are some of your own favorite UFC fighters?
I like GSP, Khabib, Marab Dvalishvili, and back in the old days when I first started watching as a kid, Matt Hughes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Josh, my last question is, when you do leave the regional scene and if you do make it to the UFC, what do you want everyone here in BC to remember you as? Essentially, what do you want the Josh Lamb legacy to be?
Quiet professional. Just, just a consummate professional.
And could you get a final message for all the Josh Lamb fans out there worldwide?
Worldwide. Uh, Stay tuned, and I'll just keep doing my thing and keep watching.
So we can expect to see you. All the fans can expect to see you at BFL 81, right?
No. I'm gonna
No.
take some time. I have to heal up some injuries that I sustained for the fight. I hurt my hand, my left hand, and
Can we see you back in the cage at least once more before the end of the year?
If there is an event near like November, December, yeah, I'd love to fight. And then, yeah, if PFL has an event by the end of the year, for sure. If not, early 2025, late 2024, that's when I ideally want to compete.
Thank you so much for your time, Josh. Great talking to you.
Thanks for having me on the show.